Greedy.
That's what I seriously. Super motherfucking future.
You that Eskimo shit in the crib. They on the motherfucking planet.
Yeah. Out of my real with rockets, hold up, and I had slashy brothers. I gotta chill on me right now. Bitch, I'm hard as loaded. I gotta chill on me right now. Bitch, I'm hard as fucking sick. I gotta chill on me right now. I'm a car and loaded. I gotta chill on me right now. I see my wife, loaded.
Yes, good morning.
All these songs, fucking shit. I gotta chill on me right now. I gotta chill on me. I gotta chill on me. I gotta chill on me right now. I gotta chill on me. I gotta chill on me. They try to tell me to turn down, I refuse to do it. They try to tell me I'ma lose, I mean I'm just good. I can get a walk through, everybody cool.
Good morning. My attorney judge.
I'm gonna do the work.
Hey.
And I expect the president. I'm responsible to the city, make the ass.
Hey.
I'ma hit this on first night.
Good morning. I got a street so dynamite. How about that cause explosion?
As soon as I say her, they better know that I'm chosen. You see my watch and my chain and ring and everything.
Good morning.
You see my face on the magazine, I'm getting global exposure.
Thank you.
Running machine, then I get ready to blow it. I like real with watches,
Hey.
and I have slash you rolling. I gotta chill on me right now, bitch, I'm high and rolling.
I gotta check on me right now, yeah. We are thriving under Biden. Good morning, Swervin. I gotta check on me right now. Thank you, Andy. Hey.
We doing this like a drug deal.
Baby, you gotta be silent. Woo.
I let you play with a cup of milk. Baby, you gotta be silent.
Hey.
I know the street like the back of my hand. But
This is violent. Woo.
Show. So that's a quarter for time.
Woo.
I said you rolling for me and my hoe.
Hey.
I'm a partner to ride.
Hey.
I bought an 80 for me and my brothers. The good nigga rides and rides.
Hey.
I get a change to somebody down.
Hey.
Gotta be quiet.
Gotta be quiet.
Feeling my rage. And it's causing a riot.
Hey.
I got that for a Mercedes, nigga.
And I don't even drive it.
See what fraud you
Know
know
what
what I've been through. It's very surprising. You get money coming in like this.
It's hard to hide it.
I
Woo.
like real with
Woo. Lord
Lord
have mercy. Did you hear what he said? Wow. I gotta check on me right now. Yeah. I gotta check on me right now. Wow. I gotta check on me right now. Wow. Congratulations. Listen. Good morning, Andy. For all of us out here who are thriving under Biden, that song was for you. Yes. We are still out here making money. Quiet as it is kept. We got a lot of people out here lying about their financial situation. Thank you for those gifts. To the Trump supporters, I've been monitoring your conduct out here on TikTok. Ooh, good morning, Mila. Nice to see you. To the Trump supporters, you can no longer tell Zeus that you don't have any money because every live I see you go in, you're sending each other all kinds of gifts and things like that. So, I just don't believe it. You're out here thriving with Biden. I can see it, and all lies will no longer be discussed or debated. Yes, every day is a payday. Yes, thank you, Heaven. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show today. We got a lot of things to talk about. But you know what we got to do first before we get started? We got to take care of a few housekeeping items, right? You know what we do over here on this side of town. We definitely got to take care of a few housekeeping items. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Zeus, god of sky and thunder. The most handsome in the kingdom. Yes. But they also call me Triple H. They do. Now, why do they call you Triple H? Great question. And I'm going to answer it. I always do it. They call me Triple H. There's 3 H's. The first H stands for Honest. I am the most honest person out here on this platform. Hands down. Second to none. In this kingdom especially. Humble. I am the most humble person out here on TikTok. Listen, if I step on your toes and I do it and I get it wrong, I go, oops, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to step on your toes. If I say something and I got it wrong, I'll be the first one to apologize. I promise I will. And the last H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am the most handsome. Oh, I love it. No, I cannot do the TikTok battles. I got to decline. I am so sorry. Now listen up. In this live, all forms of lies and misinformation will not be tolerated. Blasphemy in the kingdom will not be tolerated. So, especially, I don't know if he's there, bad views. I got some bad news for you. You can't get in the box unless you are first willing to admit you have a problem, okay? And the problem you have is consistent with the problem I see with a lot of your friends on the right. No facts, no policies, just simply, I want to try to own the libs. Shame. They don't like me. I know. Now, I'm this live, ladies. Listen, I know they're mad at me, but I got to do this. This live, ladies and gentlemen. You go look at the test. You go take the test in my link. Everyone can go take the test to find out what side of the aisle you're on. The results came in, and Zeus, ladies and gentlemen, is a Democrat. A proud Democrat, a Democrat mainstay. Let's go ahead and give me a round of applause. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not saying the Democrat Party is perfect, but I want you to know where I stand. That way there's no confusion when it comes to getting the truth, okay? In this live, we promise to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And it's not just me. I got a lot of great friends that support me on this mission because we understand what's at stake in these lovely United States. Yes, America, it is the land of the free and the home of the brave. But it's only if you make it that way. And we right now are dealing with a war on misinformation. Greetings, Poker Dad. Yes, there's a lot of misinformation out here, ladies and gentlemen. And these kind of lives are here to help deal with that. We want people to know the truth. Now, if you are a Trump supporter, I'm going to be honest with you. This is probably going to be the worst 1.5 hours of your day because there's going to be so much truth coming out. And we're so critical of the former president that it might make you feel uncomfortable. So now this is your time. This is your chance to exit stage left. Okay? Because it's going to get ugly and nasty. But, you know, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
No.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time,
That's right.
very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get this show started. Wake up! We are about to get started. Oh, who is this? Hey! We are about to get started. Good morning, Brother Greg. All right. So, you know what we're going to do. We're going to talk about things going on that matter so that we don't have any more questions. Rudy Giuliani, ladies and gentlemen, is having quite a week, right? We found out, thank you, Brother Greg. We found out a couple of days ago, he's being sued by a woman for SA and all kinds of employment violations. Okay, I saw her interview yesterday on Inside Edition. For those of you Noelle Dunphy. If you haven't seen her interview on Inside Edition, it's the only one she's given where she openly and candidly talks about her relationship with Rudy Giuliani. It's the most disturbing of all disturbing interviews I've heard this month. And I've heard a lot of them, especially with James Comer. By the way, you know how I feel about James Comer. She details one of the most disgusting, perverted things I heard. She said, and I believe her, she got text messages, she got emails. And those emails, I think this is what is going to be the downfall of Donald J. Trump. Already Jack Smith was on them. But those emails, ladies and gentlemen, she said he would make her do disgusting things after talking to Donald Trump on the phone, right? And then he told her, while you're doing it, call me president. Yeah. Call me president. He's sitting behind his desk. He's sitting behind his desk right after he hangs up the phone. Yes, Donald, we're going to steal the 2020 election. Okay, okay. He hangs up the phone and then he gets her to do this, but he tells her, while you're doing it, call me the president. Shame on Rudy Giuliani, shame on the Republican Party, and shame on all of you who continue to support this man. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. But I'm so happy that E. Jean Carroll paved the way for women like this woman to come and get these folks and hold them accountable for their dirty and disgusting, filthy deeds. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is now open season. Go get your bag, ladies. If these men have done stuff like this to you, go get your bag. Because enough is enough. And they are not the only ones that are getting their bag. There's a gentleman right here. He's now decided he's going to go and get his bag off of Rudy Giuliani as well. Yes, many of you remember the incident where this guy, he walks past Rudy Giuliani, pats him on the back, and tells him he's a scumbag and walks away. Rudy Giuliani decides to get this guy arrested. This man spent an entire night in jail because Rudy Giuliani lied. And the police, they went along with it. They lied on this man, said he assaulted Rudy Giuliani, only to go and look at the security footage and see the man didn't do that. And this, ladies and gentlemen, has opened up the door for Rudy Giuliani to once again find himself on the other side of as a defendant in another lawsuit. Now, what actually makes this even more important? It's not so much that Rudy Giuliani is being sued, which I believe he should be, but what's also important is that when I mentioned the woman, Noelle Dunphy, she has so many emails that are going to incriminate Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, and all of these other folks that were involved with the 2020 election, big steal, January 6th, that Jack Smith, ladies and gentlemen, is on it. And Jack Smith wants to see those emails now. You know what they say about Jack Smith?
Jack Smith.
Yeah.
He's a Trump hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family's a Trump hater. They all hate Trump.
They hate him with a passion.
They'll do anything they can to hurt Trump. But he's a harasser and an abuser.
Yeah, that Jack Smith will be contacting Noelle Dunphy and asking for those emails so that we can use those emails to continue to once again build probably one of the strongest cases against a former president ever built in the United States, and it will be built by Jack Smith and his team of prosecutors. When it's all said and done, we are going to have Donald J. Trump sitting in another courtroom, a federal one, and on the other side, it will be Jack Smith reading to him his fate. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because it's coming. I guarantee you, Okay, now we got to move on to something else that's also happening out there in Trump world. Like I said, Trump supporters, this is probably not going to make you feel good today. You can still leave, okay? You can leave. I won't be offended. I don't really look at the numbers. I look at what I'm doing because this is what's important, the content, not you. I love you, but this is what's important, that I get the message out. So feel free to exit stage left. But like I said, I do open up these boxes, and I'm willing to talk to anybody as long as you get in the box and are respectful. If you don't get in the box and you're not respectful, get out. I'm not wasting my time. No, I'm not. Okay, Trump 2020 lawyer indicated that he may be the target of a Fulton County probe court document. Say, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Fonnie Willis a round of applause. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You know what this is right here. All of you out there who like to say, do you got a docket number for that? They ask for docket numbers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you the docket number, but let me explain to you the backstory about what's going on here. And by the way, if you don't know who this is Fonnie Willis. She is a black woman in Atlanta, Georgia. She's a black prosecutor, and she is going after Donald Trump for that infamous phone call that he made when he was trying to help overturn the 2020 election. You know that phone call that Trump made that got him into a lot of trouble out there?
I just want to find 11,780
Remember that?
votes.
Remember this?
Which is one more than we have.
Yeah. She's the one that said, oh, that call right there that Trump made, oh, that's my business. And I'm taking that very seriously, because if there was any crimes being committed, I'll be the one to prosecute them. And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump and his supporters. Oh, no. And she's casting, I would argue, one of the widest nets known to mankind to not only catch Donald Trump, but she's going to get everybody from Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, all these attorneys he had, she's going to get them. And when it's all said and done, imagine this, Trump supporters. You're going to have Alvin Bragg over there on the right. You're going to have Letitia James sitting right next to him. Then you're going to look to your left and you're going to see Fonnie Willis right there. And then right in the middle, you're going to see Jack Smith.
Jack Smith is a Trump hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family is a Trump hater. They hate him with a passion. They'll do anything they can. He's a harasser and an accuser. Jack Smith is a Trump hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family is a Trump hater. They all hate Trump. They hate him with a passion. They'll do anything they can. But he's a harasser and an abuser.
I can't get enough of that guy, Jack Smith. That guy, Jack Smith, he's going to save the United States of America. All right? And I'm here for it. Salute to Jack Smith. Now, let's get back to these court documents. By the way, I'm going to read the docket number because they don't like it when you show up with facts. Now, Ray Smith III, you always know this is going to be interesting, right? Is a lawyer for former President Donald Trump in a litigation aimed at reversing the 2020 election results. He has indicated that he may be the target of Atlanta area District Attorney Fonnie Willis criminal probe. Now, why is he doing this? Many of you are asking. Because he's trying to get out of a deposition, all right? He's trying to get out of being deposed. And you know who's deposing him? All right, I have the docket number. Oh, you can't see it. But does the name Ruby Freeman mean anything to you Trump supporters? Ruby Freeman. Or Wandrea Moss? Okay, let me refresh your brains for a second. You know you got these Trump supporters out there, and they're talking about, do you remember, you ask them, was the 2020 election stolen? They'll tell you it was. What proof do you have? Did you see the woman moving those suitcases out there in Georgia? You remember her? Those were votes. That woman Her name is Ruby Freeman. And guess who she's suing? Rudy Giuliani. In a civil matter, okay? And the docket number is 21-CV-3354, parentheses open, BAH, close parentheses. I hope you noted that, because I got the docket numbers. And in this 9 pages, plaintiff Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Moss respectfully move this court to permit plaintiffs to conduct the deposition of third party Ray Smith after fact discovery. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes on to say, what else does it say? For these reasons, there's a lot of different reasons for why they need this discovery, but in short, the reasons discussed, the plaintiff respectfully requested the court to issue an order permitting plaintiffs to notice for deposition and to the plaintiff to the deposition of Mr. Smith and any related relief outside of the fact period. You can read it for yourself, and it ends with a certificate of service. So to all the TikTok lawyers out there, I want you to understand this is the real deal. Don't get out here on TikTok and start lying and saying this ain't real. No, this is real. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up front and center, okay? Because these are the things that matter here in the lovely United States, okay? He is now being involved in a wide net being cast by Fonnie Willis, okay? Because he tried to help Donald Trump with the big steal, okay? And in the background, we have Rudy Giuliani being sued once again. Don't you just love this justice, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you just love it? Now let's move on, okay? Because I don't got much time. I try not to dibble and dabble in a lot of the affairs going on. But Ron DeSantis has reached. Thank you for the gift, Ron DeSantis. I've been meaning to do a closet of truth this week, but I've been terribly busy in the kingdom. But Ron DeSantis has made it onto my radar, and it's difficult to make it on Zeus's radar, ladies and gentlemen, because you got to be doing a lot of nasty things in order to actually become someone I want to talk about, right? So Ron DeSantis, ladies and gentlemen, he's having a fight against woke, and Florida may instead go broke. I talked to these Republicans out here, and they all keep telling me, Republicans, our policy is we care about the economy. This is what they've been telling Zeus. We care about the money. This is what they've been telling me. And I say, well, really, it doesn't look like that, because everywhere I look, I keep catching you in these situations where you're almost finding yourselves to be looking at look like hypocrites. Now, I'm going to get into a lot of trouble. I know I got some good friends out there, Poker Dad especially, who's probably going to disagree with me about this, but we got to have the conversation. We got to have it about Ron DeSantis and what's actually going on out there in Florida. And for those of you who don't know who he is, for educational purposes only, that is his picture. That is the governor of Florida right now, who is making everyone in that state's life a living hell. Yeah. I know. I'm in California, and I keep telling people, California, Gavin Newsom doing such a great job. God bless Gavin Newsom. God bless President Joe Biden. And they think that I'm crazy for saying these things. But they said Biden was ruining the economy. This is what I've heard these same people tell me. President Biden is ruining the economy. This is what they say. But at the same time, we actually have solid proof that Governor Ron DeSantis is actually ruining the economy in Florida. And I'm only making this point to make sure that if you live in the state of Florida and you're complaining about the prices and construction projects not getting completed, schools and things like that, do not, I repeat, do not blame President Biden for that. That is your governor's fault. Period. Contradictions of Ron DeSantis is what I want to talk about. So He's anti-woke, but he won't define what woke is to him, to us. He won't tell us what he means. Okay, and he brands Florida as the state that where this is where woke goes to die. Okay, but does he actually mean history, the First Amendment, or jobs is the question. Which one, Ron? After all, his war against Disney, a major employer in his state, threatens to take away billions in investments and thousands of jobs. I like that poll. Wow. Jack Smith wins the poll, 66%. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ron DeSantis. Let me go ahead and talk to you about some things going on with Mr. Ron DeSantis. What Ron DeSantis is being tasked, this is according to my notes, his task is to win back some of the college-educated suburban voters who have stampeded away from the GOP since 2016 because of Donald J. Trump. This is what his mission is. And let me go read this quote to you. The exact things that DeSantis is doing to make himself a MAGA hero for the primary, okay, are the things that will turn away the voters they are hoping to win back. This is Ron DeSantis in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. This is where, in the state of Florida, that's where body autonomy goes to die. Yeah, Ron DeSantis, he doesn't care. He's just concerned about getting whatever he wants and trying to own the libs too. And we're catching him. No policy. He's, as a matter of fact, I would argue worse than Donald Trump. At least Trump openly shows you he's corrupt. Ron DeSantis tries to hide it, but we'll continue. It's where human rights go to die as well. And the reason I said that is because he does things in the cover of night so that when you wake up in the morning, you wake up shocked. I know what he did. You should too. It's where human rights goes to die as well for those unlucky enough to come from poor and violent countries and whose labor plays an essential role in how things in this country function. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost as if Ron DeSantis just doesn't get it. Last week, DeSantis signed a vile and inhumane immigration bill imposing penalties and restrictions on undocumented immigrants in Florida. That, among other things, bans local governments from issuing identification cards for people who can't prove citizenship. DeSantis has been fulsome in his denunciation of woke ideology, but stingy in his definition of what exactly woke means. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have been talking about when it comes to the Republican Party and all throughout social media. Anyone from Florida that gets up here and tells me Florida's doing good, I'm going to actually have to push back on that. I'm going to say, I'm going to need you to get out of your bubble. I'm going to need you to get out of your bubble and actually go check in with the communities out there that have been negatively impacted by Ron DeSantis and his war on woke. And any of you know my stance on Disney. And you know what? In one of the rarest of moments, I actually am siding with Disney because Ron DeSantis, ladies and gentlemen, he is actually ruining the state of Florida. And my hope, ladies and gentlemen, is that there are Republicans in the state of Florida who are voting for their best interests and not their worst interests. Sometimes being a Republican means you don't vote for Ron DeSantis. Sometimes being a Republican means you don't vote for Donald Trump. And sometimes being a Republican means you should vote for Joe Biden. Country first, right? America first, right? Do the right thing. Do the right thing. All right, now my last topic, ladies and gentlemen, before I open up these boxes. Which one do I want to talk about? Because you always got to bring these things up and make sure that the folks on the right know we are fully aware of all the lies and misinformation they're spewing. This is of grave importance. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one. Let me see. Right here. Hello, greetings. Dave Wilson, quit drinking that Lake Merritt water, brother. That water is not clean and it does a number of things to your mind. Don't drink it. All right. Good morning, Petty Auntie. Nice to see you. So the GOP's FBI whistleblowers have clearances yanked over January 6th misconduct. Now, I don't like to keep debating January 6th, especially with the people who are hardcore Trump supporters, because they won't listen. But I gotta bring this back up because you remember their main thing. It was the FBI there. This is what they've been telling us. The FBI was in on January 6th. And I've said, you know what? If they were, then you know what? Deal with them. Deal with them because they weren't there upholding the rule of law. They were there doing something they shouldn't have been doing, illegal things, right? So now we're getting to where I've been prophesying we would get to. These whistleblowers have had their clearances yanked over their misconduct. So what I understand is we had FBI officials there in support of Donald Trump. And his supporters never discussed this with us. No wonder you can say the FBI was there because they were in on it too. Some of them. And ladies and gentlemen, have been recently taken to task. Okay, God bless Merrick Garland because he's doing the right thing. God bless Christopher Wray, a Trump-appointed director of FBI, because it must have been quite a discussion to have their security clearances yanked. It really must have. So the agents, Marcus Allen, look at them right there, Stephen Friend and Brett Gloss have been suspended pending review of their cases, according to the New York Times. And by the way, these same folks are supposed to be testifying today on behalf of the Republicans about what happened on January 6th, and Jim Jordan is very excited about having these guys. So when we see the hearings come out today, you're going to see these guys talking. I want you to keep in mind, while they're talking, these people have just had their security clearance yanked because of their involvement with what happened on January 6th. Yeah, we're not going to let this slide. Gloss, whose security clearance was revoked 2 weeks ago by the agency because he was in a restricted area of the Capitol grounds on the day of the attack. He was there. Wow, which is a federal offense. He also reportedly lied about being in a restricted area and gave false or misleading information on what he saw the day of the riot. He also failed to admit that he was near the Capitol on January 6th, despite being warned to do so. They don't like this. They don't like this. So we got one FBI agent that was there on January 6th and lied to his superiors that he wasn't there. Yeah, I can understand why some of you don't trust the FBI. Okay, Mr. Gloss's refusal to provide a full, frank, and truthful answer to lawful questions of security officials in connection with a personnel security or trustworthiness determination should result in an adverse clearance action. Okay, and he's not the only one. Look at this. Allen had his top secret security clearance revoked as well, following persons or organizations that advocate or threaten for the use of violence. According to the letter, Allen allegedly sent emails from his work account to warn colleagues to be careful with investigative inquiries or leads related to the riot. This is and the other guy, friend. This guy also had his clearance taken as well. And why do we have to take these folks' clearance? And I gotta open up these boxes. My timer is going off and it tells me I'm well past my time. Well, his clearance was taken as well because he also has taken a position that goes against the agency, the FBI, and they said, you know what? You all have been found to be in violation of the FBI's policy, and now you are under investigation. So, ladies and gentlemen, to the three FBI officials who lost their clearances today because of their unwavering commitment to the former president, I got this for you. Get him out of here! Order! Get him out of here. Treason will not be tolerated at all, and neither will seditious conspiracy, no matter how you label it. Now, let me open up these boxes. All right? I'm going to open up these boxes, and it's time to have tough conversations. Or maybe we just have people who want to come in and tell the truth. Either way it goes, it's perfectly fine with me. Okay? And be mindful. Be mindful, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of fake TikTok hosts out here who brand themselves as all kinds of things. Please do not listen to these folks and get into trouble. These are real consequences that are happening to real people. From Donald Trump all the way down to the January 6th supporters. These are the real consequences. And I would go as far as to say the reason most of these folks are in this situation is because they get out here and they listen to stuff online that is not true, and it gets them so worked up that they feel like they should go out here and break the law. Don't do it if you know what's good for you, because if you keep doing it, you're going to run into Jack Smith. Thank you, brother. All right, let's see. We got some chat today. Let's go. Good morning, Nutty Professor.
What is good, sir? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Excellent. So you know what's very interesting to me? Sit back for a second and just think about this. Almost every single person that has surrounded themselves around 45,
Mm-hmm.
they're dealing with legal obligations. Rudy Giuliani.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Get
Oh
him.
my goodness. Oh my
Get
goodness.
Rudy.
This man, he wants to be in the in crowd so bad that he's telling this young lady to call him the president.
Yeah.
Like that's some freaky stuff right there. This man wants to be included so badly that he's offering $1 million. You know he ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Not one.
He's offering this young lady $1 million that he knew he couldn't pay. I want to make something clear because it was been brought to my attention that on yesterday's live with you, when I talked about Miss Noel,
Uh-huh.
it made it seem as if I was attacking her. And I want to be clear, I am not attacking the victim. I am not a
We
victim
don't
blamer.
attack victims.
But it was made, some of the statements that I made it seem as if I were, and I want to clear that up right now.
Well,
That I
thank you.
was
Well,
not.
number one, thank you for taking accountability, Nutty
Yes,
Professor. That's what we do.
yes, I will never attack a victim. Won't do that.
You hear
So if
that?
you were in that live and you felt that I was blaming the victim, I was not, and I will do better with my words. So
Thank you, Nutty Professor, for taking accountability and being a role model to the Trump supporters. That's what accountability looks like, ladies and gentlemen. If you get it wrong, own it. Don't double down on
yeah.
it. Don't triple down on it.
So
Thank you.
did you hear about the ruling yesterday that the state of Montana has banned TikTok?
I did hear about that. I did hear about that.
It you know what? Now, granted, I think there's only a population of $1.5 million in the entire state.
Uh-huh.
Um, And so in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't affect a lot of people. But I think people need to open their eyes to this because it's still a state. It's still a state government that has done this. And they're going to come after because, you talk about telling the truth. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want the truth to continue to be told because look at you right now. You got a platform. You have a platform and you're reaching people.
I am.
And,
I
and
saved
they
a
don't
lot of Trump supporters' lives. They come to
They
me and they
don't
say,
like it.
Zeus,
They
thank
don't
you.
like it. They don't like it when us American people can reach each other. Whether we agree or disagree,
Mm-hmm.
we're reaching each other. And
That's
so
right.
by these conversations and having these conversations, we are changing minds.
Mm-hmm.
And
We are.
Gen Z is fired up and they're ready to go. Yes, that's
Amen.
Barack Obama's campaign slogan. So they're fired up, they're ready to go, and these people are going to be held to account.
Listen up.
So So yeah, Montana. If I were you, I would probably kind of repeal that decision
Amen.
very quick and in a hurry. So so yeah.
But
So that's all.
don't you find it fascinating that they're all about First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. But isn't this kind of in a way restricting that?
What I find even more interesting, Zeus, is
Mm-hmm.
the fact that this
Is
is a
that
Republican government, and the Republican want to gaslight you and say that they're for smaller government,
right?
but yet they keep getting into your business.
They keep getting into your business.
They tell
And then
women, they
they get
tell
in
women
your
what to do with their
business.
body. They tell
Huh?
women what to do with their bodies. Now
They
they're
do.
telling you. Now they're telling you what app you can download on your telephone and your
Now they
computer.
don't want you to come listen to Zeus. Look at what they're
The,
doing to you, folks.
and here's my tagline. I'm gonna say it. You ready?
I'm ready.
The devil is a lie.
The devil is a lie. I
So you
agree.
cannot have it both ways, Republicans. Either you are a party of small government
That's right.
or you are not a party. It seems to me over the last several years, but
Tell us.
last decade or so, it's been the Democratic Party that's been the party of small government.
Facts.
Because it's been the Democratic Party that's saying the government has no role in your bedroom, in your cell
None.
phone, in your finances. Get out. So, in fact, it should be the Democrats with the "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
Amen.
We should be flying the
Almighty,
Gadsden
listen
symbol
to
around.
Mighty Professor.
So it's like, government, you work for us, not the other way around. Stay out our business. Not
Yeah.
business, business. Get out my
Facts.
business.
Facts.
So,
Some people are still saying that you're making this all up, Nutty Professor, and
well,
that
you know what? Those people just need Jesus. That's all. They just need Jesus.
they
They used to
need
upset.
Jesus. Wow.
Zeus, They used to upset me. They used to get under my skin. They used to get my
Hmm.
blood boiling. But
Right.
now, but now, all I say is, bless your heart.
Hmm. We ain't paying
Bless,
them no mind. They'll come
bless your
around.
heart.
Yeah.
Because you just need the blood of Jesus and keep it moving. I'm not gonna let you raise my blood pressure no more,
Oh Lord.
no more.
Oh
You
Lord.
ain't you ain't gonna raise my blood pressure. You know,
Hey, you
God
heard.
only God helps those who helps themselves, and
Amen.
until they decide that they want to help themselves,
They
until they
can't.
decide that, there's no hope for them.
There isn't.
There's no hope. So why? So I'm not even talking to them. I'm talking to the people who are still Trump supporters that say, you know what? I still have
Wait.
an open mind because I
Are
still
there
believe in.
still Trump supporters in this live? Any Trump supporters still here? Because if
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
you think they're still here?
Zeus, you are like a magnet for trash. You bring out the trash. They're here,
I
and I've been
doubt it.
seeing them. I've been seeing them in the comments,
Are
even
there,
through your monologue.
are there
They'll,
any
they'll,
Trump supporters
there
in
you go
this
right
live?
there. There you go right there. There you go. See, I told you. So you
Man.
don't pay attention to your account. Let's go, Brandon. And next, I'm gonna see FJB. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I, I I don't get why they're here. I thought they said that I'm spreading lies. They say you're spreading lies, misinformation. Why do they come in and want to conversate with us? We're not doing anything.
Because they are self-deprecating.
Oh, Well,
And
to the Trump
they talk
supporters,
about you, but they
to the,
talk about you, but they keep coming back every single morning at the same bat time, same bat place.
okay, well, here's the thing. If there is a Trump supporter out there, there's still one thing of great importance. Thank you for the poll. There's still one thing of great importance. I have yet to meet a Trump supporter that could get in the box, especially a woman, and explain to me if they find Donald Trump sexy. If there's a Trump supporter out here that thinks Donald Trump is sexy, okay, keep going, Nutty. I just want to make sure because I want to find out what they think is
So
sexy.
so Justice said, yes, Nutty is right about trash. You have them in your box.
Mm, mm, mm,
So I'm the best looking, best smelling trash there is, my brother.
mm,
So
mm.
so bless your
Oh,
heart. That's all I'm gonna
Cynthia.
say. All I'm gonna say is bless your heart.
Oh,
And keep the insults coming because you know what? They fuel me.
oh, yeah, yeah. So don't let them get to you. I do believe that your truth, your brand of truth, Nutty Professor, it makes them want to do better after they listen to what you're saying because they leave and then they go into these other lives and then they say, Nutty Professor and him and Zeus, they tell the truth, and we're starting to reconsider our position when it comes to supporting Donald Trump, who we can see is clearly a criminal. So keep doing the work you're doing, Nutty Professor. They're coming around. They're
Well,
coming around.
you keep telling us about docket numbers. You
I
know
have
that's
one.
not
I have
that's not
one.
a that's my point. That's not a thing anymore. We don't hear that anymore. Now that we bring the docket numbers, they don't talk
Oh,
about it anymore.
oh, oh,
Now they are in gaslight hyper mode. Now they just
oh.
say
What are they talking about now? Since it ain't
now they
documented.
just say, oh, that's a lie. It's not happening. If there's no mugshot, this didn't happen. George Santos did not get arrested because there's no mugshot.
Oh Lord.
You know. And one more thing before I go, uh,
Okay.
the wonderful Democrats in the House of Representatives, they have proposed a bill to expel him from Congress
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
Right.
So
Preach.
so yet again,
Uh-huh. Keep going.
it's the Democrats that are saving America because the Republicans who are in power in the House of Representatives,
Mm-hmm.
they still won't do it because they use him as a number because their majority is so slim. It's only by 5 seats. So taking one away for you Trump supporters who can't count, that's 4 seats if he gets expelled.
Mm, mm.
So they want numbers. That's why they don't expel him. And it shows you that they don't care about morality. They don't have a moral fiber in their being. Because if they did, no matter how many numbers that they need, they would expel this lying sack of waste.
Woo!
And they're not expelling him. So the
I
Democrats
agree.
said, you know what? They
I
said,
agree. I agree.
they
They
said,
need to be
hold my
expelled.
truth. We're going to expel him.
Look, the poll came back, 90% of the people here are Biden or don't support Donald Trump. So I would say to the other part, I guess that 10% are the ones that are brave enough to hear the truth.
I'm glad you said brave because the other ones they're still in here. They just didn't vote on it because they don't want to be they didn't even count themselves because
Oh,
they
you
just
think the
didn't take
poll
the poll.
results aren't accurate?
I don't believe that they're accurate. You got a lot of Trumpers in here. You got a lot of Trumpers in here that said, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to tell them I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm just
Well,
going
we
to keep."
now know how Biden won the 2020 election. Easy.
And
Thank
he's going
you.
to win the 2024. And with that, I'm going to let that be my last thing I say.
All right.
I'm thriving under Biden.
We're thriving under Biden. Thank you, Nutty Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Nutty Professor. Now, I I do want to make sure that the Trump supporters know that anytime you want to talk about why President Biden is doing a great job, just let me know. I got so many things to talk about. It's always something. It's one of my favorite things to do. Does anybody want to hear any of President Biden's accomplishments? Just let me know. Hello, good morning, Petty Auntie. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for letting me up. I wanted to jump on that George Santos talking point
Oh,
first.
Go for it.
So check this out. Yes, the Democrats, he's right. The Democrats did lead the effort in trying to get him expelled, but I kind of disagree with that. What the Democrats were doing was putting the Republican Party in a position to either have to side with somebody that has been indicted with a felony or to make them side with Democrats, which they don't want to do because they're so divided. However, with that said, they did the right thing in referring it to the ethics committee. It did
Oh,
that was the decision that came out of it. They referred it to the ethics committee, and that's the right thing to do because first and foremost, regardless if they're elected officials or not, they are American citizens and they are entitled to their day in court, and you are innocent until proven guilty. Yes, we have a messed up justice system. There, it is flawed, but I do believe in the theory of our justice system and how it's supposed to work. So, with that said, if they were to expel him, that will set a new precedent because historically, you are innocent until proven guilty, and they have not expelled anybody until they were found guilty in a court of law. So if they set that new precedent with him just being indicted and expelled him, then that would set a precedent for any legislator who comes under accusations, whether they are false or not, to then be expelled.
Do you think George Santos right now is really in as much trouble as we hear? I guess that's my question, right?
Oh, I believe that. You know,
Oh.
the court of public opinion, I believe he's a whole ass spy.
Oh,
But the fact
well,
still
keep it
remains.
clean now. Keep it clean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe
yeah. Okay, but you believe he's a spy.
Right. That's my
Okay.
personal opinion. But the bottom line is if you truly are somebody that supports the Constitution, like the Republican Party claims, like the Democratic Party claims, then you have to follow the Constitution. He is entitled to his day in court to be judged by a jury of his peers. Bottom line.
Well,
That
I think all of that's going to play out. But what bothers me about it is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance, she's calling for President Biden to be impeached. You hear, James Comer and all these other people. They're always calling for the Democrats to be taken out of position, left and right, right? And they don't say, well, let's refer them to the ethics committee. Let's see this play out. It's just straight to get them out of here. So how do you I guess justify that side of this? Because from what I see, this is just my opinion, right? George Santos does need to get out of the office ASAP because everything that it took to get him there was a lie.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just talking about the process of it. Hell, even his own constituents no longer want him in. They have amassed hundreds of thousands of signatures in his district to have him removed and to hold a special election that have not been heeded. But no, I'm just talking about procedurally and about having a standard because I'm prior military and I'm a firm believer in if you do not uphold the standard, you set a new one. There's already a precedent in place. As far as Marjorie Taylor Greene wanting to impeach Biden, that is something when they declared Biden the winner of the 2020 election. If you went onto the GOP's national platform, they had their plan laid out. They had already planned before he was even sworn in, meaning Trump was still president. They had already put out a plan to impeach Biden, Harris, and Pelosi on their national website. That's out for the public to go read.
Wow! Shame on the Republicans!
So the thing is, the Republican, and for those that don't know me in the comments, I'm independent. I don't claim their side, but for. They've been telling us, the GOP has been telling us what they were going to do. They quite literally wrote their plans out and put it online for the world to see.
Wow.
That happened. So, when people, Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, I agree. So they had this fake plan along with their fake plan to say the 2020 election was stolen. And look at how that has panned out for the Republican Party. Now, let's talk about Santos. One last thing. If you were in Congress, because I think you would do great in Congress, and George Santos was your colleague, where would be your position on this in terms of
How would I vote?
I mean, yeah, if you had to vote on whether or not he should stay. Do you
I,
first?
I
Huh?
if he was just indicted, I would vote for him to stay. Despite my personal beliefs, the justice system has to play out. If you
Is
not
there any kind of crime that a person can commit which would make you say they gotta go?
So let me give some context. In the
Hmm.
military, right? In the military, when you do something egregious outside of regulation, something wrong, and we're talking about along the lines that George Santos did, right? To give it a full parallel. If you were to do something like that in the military, they would remove you from your position
Hmm.
and that you would have minimal duties while the investigation
While they're
plays
in that,
out
yeah.
and a decision is made. The same thing needs to happen. It is still the federal government. It needs to play out. Now he's already been removed, and I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. If it was
Well, they should do something, right? They shouldn't let them vote. I don't know.
well. Here's the thing. By doing that with somebody that's just under allegations, you're silencing an entire district of constituents, whether they want him in office or not. You're silencing those voters. You're gonna make me mess up my train of thought. Hold on.
When you remove somebody, the next person steps up.
They'd have to hold a special election.
That's
Yes.
right.
However,
That's right.
but it does have to play out. Like I said, you can't on one breath, you can't be a hypocrite in my opinion when you are in political office. You can't in one breath say you're the party of law and order or that you're against crime. And
Hmm.
then in the same breath, you don't follow the justice system that you say and that you claim is not flawed.
Right.
You
I agree with that, but I guess the question that I'm still wondering, is there a crime that a member in Congress could commit that you would say, skip all of that, they got to go now? It's just think, all the crimes that are going on in the world, is there any crime that you think would allow you to say, I get it, but this is too egregious and he has to go, he or she?
the first step in that will be censoring them, which will be silencing them, not expulsion. Now that I would agree with, where you censor them and they can't speak, but again, it still should not go to full expulsion until they're either proven guilty or innocent.
Well, now you can see that I get what you're saying because I do like that you're independent, and I think I don't get to talk to too many people that think like you do, so I'm probing your mind if you don't mind. But I guess my concern has to do with the messaging that you might be unintentionally sending by taking that position, right? In a way, it could come across like, you know, we'll allow you to do whatever you want in our party.
No, 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 no. See, that's why I said there's steps.
Oh,
There's always a process. When you censure them, they're not expelled from the party, but then you cannot vote, you cannot participate in your committees, just like they try to do to the Tennessee Three, which ended up being the Tennessee Two, right? They expelled them, but they should have been doggone just censured while they played their process out. Now, let me clarify because I saw your facial reaction. That should not
I
have
mean, because
happened
I
over the
get I
forum.
get the by the book approach, right? And I'm a firm believer in that, but I do think there's a certain amount of this where you just got to be proactive. If somebody's a bad actor, I get this due process they're afforded to, but that's bad representation of the brand.
Of the brand. This is government we're talking about.
Well, the party, the
Government
Republican.
government is very black and white. As someone that worked in the government 21 years, I'm telling you right now, it is black and white. There are no gray areas, and they write it for that way for a reason.
Hmm.
There is a regulation, there is rules that must be adhered. Again, once you don't uphold a standard, you set a new one.
Hmm. Now, I mean, okay, and that's your position, and I don't want to take that away from you, but this
No,
is
you're
kind of
fine.
how I look at it, right?
And we can
You,
agree to
you-
disagree.
yeah, yeah. So you hear about this job, and I hate to bring sports in it, but this John Morant thing, you've heard about this.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
It's
Do you,
bullshit.
I mean, he didn't break any law,
Oh, that's right.
right?
I forgot you told me not to cuss. I'm sorry. It's crap.
Oh,
It's crap.
oh, yeah, I must not have heard it, but
My bad.
yeah. So, and then I think Nutty Professor, if you don't mind, he would like to at least talk to you if you're okay with that after this. But you heard about the John Morant thing, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't break any laws, right?
Right.
But what he did may have been bad for the brand.
I mean, you could see it that way, but there's so many other things that happen with athletes. Like, when's the last time we heard about Brett Favre and the millions of dollars he stole in what was it, food stamps in Mississippi? You know,
I didn't hear about that.
yeah, you don't hear about, but here's the thing. Yes, that organization may feel that was bad for their brand, but what they're doing is unconstitutional because bottom line, he's an American citizen with Second Amendment rights. He was not doing anything illegal. He was exercising his rights as an American citizen.
I guess and I'm going to let you know. I think you might have some fans in here that want to chat with you, and I don't mind if you don't mind. But we're always respectful, and but I will say this, my belief system is, yeah, you got the rules and those laws, and you got to let that play out, and that's going to fall. That's going to take its course. But when you are in a space and something is not correct and it's immoral or whatever, you got to address it right there. And because if not, silence sometimes can come across as compliance. Now, I'll say this about John Morant. He does have the right to do that, but choices have invoices. And that's the real world, right? In our real world, I don't get the same outcome Brett Favre gets because Brett Favre wasn't in there when I was negotiating that contract. So he has to really take that accountability piece very seriously. And the same thing with George Santos and the Republican Party. I think sometimes we pick and choose what side of accountability we want to play with, right? And it's like, well, if you give George Santos that kind of, leverage, you're going to have to give that to the Democrats as well or anyone else. And I would hate to live in a society where we can't do anything to someone until the law says that we can do something. That's just my opinion. Okay. Now I'm going to, I applaud you for sharing those perspectives. Okay. We got Swervin and we have Nutty Professor. All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Petty Auntie, how are you, ma'am?
Good morning, Zeus.
Good morning.
So very quickly, and I'll drop back down. I just want to make it clear: you don't have a constitutional right to serve in Congress. Article 1, Section 5 of the Constitution gives the House of Representatives the power to expel any members by 2/3 majority vote. Okay, the fact that his district is overwhelmingly telling him to step down, the fact that we have all of this evidence showing what scum he is, the fact is that he has been indicted. Congress does not have to let him stay in that seat. And there is remediation for those represented, so the people in his districts to be represented, because the governor can then appoint someone temporarily until they have a special election. So those people will not go unrepresented. The fact is that you have no constitutional right to serve in Congress. It is a job. So if you don't do your job or if you violate the principles and terms of your job, you can be fired. And that's tantamount to what's happening. He needs to be fired.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Let me respond.
100%
Okay.
agree.
Yeah.
So I want to start with one thing, Nutty Professor. I never said it was his constitutional right to serve in Congress. I just want to clear that up for people just coming
Okay.
in.
We cleared that up.
Because that's how that came across. However, with that said, you are correct. That is the process. But I'm speaking solely on the fact that they are trying to expel him. Because if you look at that expulsion document, it is about him being indicted on federal charges. That is what I'm talking about specifically. Now, yes, his constituents, I just said, they have gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures. They don't even want him in there. He will not be reelected. I would then say that election was stolen if he got reelected, because of how because of how his constituents have responded to finding out all this information. I'm not speaking on that portion. They need to hear their constituency and they need to do everything that you said. But if they are doing that solely on the fact that he was indicted on federal charges and they want to expel him for that, that is not right. That is not the precedent historically that has taken place in Congress.
That's not true, ma'am. That's not true. We have precedent in Congress. There's only been 5 representatives that has ever been expelled, starting back in 1861, 3 of which were expelled in 1861. The second one came in 1980, and the most recent was 2002.
So when those that were expelled, were they expelled once they were charged or when they were indicted and accused?
No, They were expelled before they had their day in court. They were expelled because of their actions, and it wasn't becoming of the office.
Hmm.
That's the only point that I'm trying to make when I
Okay.
say, and
Well,
you didn't say that. You didn't say that they
okay.
had a right to serve. That's why
Well,
I wanted to clear that.
well, I listen. I don't have my fact checker meter over here, but I get both sides of this, and this is why I think these conversations are needed because while we are Democrats, Petty Auntie is an independent, and her angle and her perspective, to me, is valuable to consider. All right,
Oh, and
now
it's
Let me
and,
say,
it,
let
and
me
it's
say this. Let me
appreciated.
add this if I
I want
can,
to I want
Zeus.
to go. Yeah, yeah,
I
because
want, I want to add this if I can. Al
yeah.
Franklin.
Mm.
Remember Al Franken?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Hi,
The
Shay.
Democrats were going to push him out based off an accusation. So he chose to resign.
That
Okay.
part. That
With
part.
the
Yep.
lies. Like George Santos actually lied about the death of his own mother.
He
Okay. And
did.
so that alone is enough for me
Oh yeah,
to just
and
say,
it
you
gets
know
better
what,
than
this
that.
man can't tell the truth to save his life. I want him out of here.
Oh, I
Get out
agree.
of
Like, I
here.
understand. I want y'all to understand that I think he is 1000% guilty. Me personally, my
Mhm.
personal opinion. But being, I don't know. I guess it comes from military, and trying to be fair and impartial across the board. That's why it's so black and white. And to the person in the comments that keeps spamming that they are elected officials, they are not in the military. Yes, I know, but you have to understand because I've also been a federal government employee on the
They
civilian
all took the
side.
same oath to the
Yes, same.
Constitution that we did.
Yep, and they take the same oath, and their regulations are written up the same exact way. The only difference is there is some difference in verbiage for each branch or the civilian component, but
Yep.
it's made that way for a reason.
But
We have the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which governs us. They have the Uniform Code of Congress, I guess, which governs them. I don't know. But George Santos, no matter how you slice it, we can sit here and we can make the argument and we can say, yeah, he deserves his day in court. But we know that man has lied through his natural teeth to get
For
over it.
sure.
He just settled a
For sure.
case he just settled a case in another country. So they would not extradite him.
They sure did. He made a deal with the Brazilian government and
Yep.
paid them $5,000 for two bad checks that he wrote. Not bad, excuse me, not bad checks, stolen checks, hot checks.
So with
Stolen
that,
checks.
right?
Yeah,
And for
when he was
me,
19, and some of that money's going to restitution to the shop owner, and then the rest of it is going to charitable organizations so that Brazil will not continue to
and,
prosecute him.
and for me personally, maybe I'm just a hard ass. I don't know. I maybe this is my military training, but George Santos needs to be thrown out on his natural behind and not even shown the door on his way out. He just needs to go. Plain and
So
simple. In some cases, I don't care about due process. I really don't.
hey, Zeus, can I say this? Can I say this, and then I'm gonna hop back out the box? I want to say to Petty Auntie, ma'am, listen, I appreciate your take on things, and we just have a different approach to it. But I'm just saying, and I want to make it clear. I did not. I know that you didn't say that he had a constitutional right. I do know that, but I was just stating that you don't have a constitutional right to serve in Congress. That Congress is a job, and therefore, if we were working our natural jobs and I get indicted on my natural job as a professor right now, can
There we
I
go.
be removed? Can I be removed from my office as a professor? I
Absolutely.
could, just by the fact that I was arrested,
Yep.
because that's an at will. I live in an at will state, and 99% of our states in this country are at will employment. Congress is an at will employment.
Agreed.
So therefore, that fact alone, he needs to be expelled from Congress, because to serve in Congress, the people have to have a trust. You have to be held to a higher standard. And this is why people don't trust Congress right now, both Democrats and Republicans alike, because we have people in there that are constantly breaking the law, and they're getting away with it. Whether it's coming to, trading on the stock market or doing this, that, or the other, they're
Yeah.
breaking the law, and they need to
Yeah.
be held accountable. So
Yep.
he needs to be expelled, and then he can go fight his day in court. With
Yeah.
that, thank you for letting me back up, Zeus. I just wanted to make that clear. Auntie Petty, I'm always in your corner, girl. I like when we have these debates because it is
Thanks,
always
Nutty.
thoughtful, and I appreciate and thank you for your service.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Man,
can I say this point
Nutty,
too?
Nutty has
Oh,
never thanked me for my service. I wonder what that's all about.
wait, I want to let Shay talk first, because I haven't heard from
I'm
Shay.
messing with you, Nutty.
No, yeah. So, I mean, I concur with, I understand what Patty's saying. Absolutely. I mean, one of the things we don't want to do is just play vicious politics all the time. And what's right is right. But what Nutty said is absolutely correct. I mean, people have been removed because the caucus itself doesn't, at this point, they're not willing to let a representative tarnish, right? Their political party. If they do something wrong, if it's just not a good representation, they have every right to vote them out. And that we are all aware as to why they refuse to vote out Santos.
Mm.
It's not because they think he's a great guy and that he's been viciously attacked. They're aware he's a problem. But because they only have such a narrow majority, they absolutely refuse to do the right thing because they don't want to lose that seat. And
Correct.
that is horrible politics in the end of the day. And I would call out the Democrats for ever doing that as well. It's not right. And that's what I see what's going on with the GOP. They have sunk so low that they are willing to have criminals, people with bad pasts, with fundamental mental issues, or not fit for the job, like Herschel Walker. Things like that is kind of like, what's going on with you guys? I used to be a member of the GOP. And it's for them, what I see, it's power only. They want the seats. They don't care. They just don't care. It's like the gloves are off. Like the party of traditional values and morals and all that, it's all gone. I mean, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, who literally chastise women on the left and people for making decisions about their own bodies and using the Bible to justify all that. Well, meanwhile, they're cheating on their husbands cheating on them, and they're getting divorced. I just, the hypocrisy on the right. It is just in order to anger the base, just in order to get votes, in order to stay in power. They no longer run on policy. What the hell is their policies? Like, what happened to this
We don't
party?
know.
And
We
and
don't know.
that is what I've got to say on that. And I hope that the Republican Party can get their stuff back together, because we need them. We need a good Republican Party. We need a good third party. We need to have good political discourse, and people have to make the right decisions. Be willing to lose elections here and there in order to do the right thing. So that's where I stand on the George Santos stuff. So,
But Shay, that's the problem. They're not willing to lose their own election.
no, they're not.
That's
They're
the
not.
problem. They don't want to lose their own election. We saw during the 2020 or 2022 midterms, we saw how many ads ran from Republican politicians who had Donald Trump's endorsement, where their whole commercial, their whole campaign ad was them blowing up a voting machine with an AR-15.
Oh my God.
And that just does not work. So not only are they, I don't think it's a matter of whether or not they're willing to lose these elections. They are wholeheartedly helping themselves lose these elections because they keep clinging to the past, just like Donald Trump, just like Asa Hutchinson said. And I hate the fact that I'm going to say this, but Ron DeSantis said the same thing. We keep clinging to the past, and we need to move on from it, because we have not won any major outcome in almost 10 years now.
That's
And he's right.
They haven't won the popular votes in 2004.
Exactly.
Now I want to hear
And the
from
rate they're going, they're not going to ever win the popular vote.
Alex. You're there.
Of course, I'm here. I just want to add a little context as well. So I am actually currently a federal employee, also a veteran, so many people know that. And when we talk about, relieving people from their job, it is a case by case basis. Case in point, I had an employee who was brought up on pedo charges. The VA released him that day.
Exact. And that was the question I was asking. Is there certain crimes that you don't gotta wait for all that stuff to shake out? You gotta go.
Right.
If I had a veteran I had an employee who had drugs on him. We didn't release him. We put him in a drug treatment program and kept his job. So it's on a case by case basis kind of thing.
Hmm. So what we're saying is Santos may not have crossed that threshold
Oh
in
no,
some people's mind.
I think he should go. But then again, I agree with there should be due process. So it's kind of a double edged sword. But I know there's context to say that depending on the allegations or the crime for federal service, you can be relieved that day. They'll walk you out the door. I promise
Yeah.
you.
You'll show up and your things are gathered, and they're like, "Hey, man, yeah, we didn't put no notice on the board or nothing, but you got to go. You got to get out of here."
Yeah.
You know. But Zeus, I wanted to add this real quick if I could, because Mama Jenny's physical therapist is going to be here in about 17 minutes.
Oh, understood.
So I want to add this real quick if I could. You got these 3 quote unquote FBI whistleblowers who are testifying today. In fact, I've been sitting here kind of listening on and off as to what they're testifying to. First of all, let me say Jim Jordan is nothing more than a Donald Trump doormat. That's all he'll ever be, and that's all he ever wants to be. I want this man to just walk all over me as a doormat.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. These 3 men, one of them is bragging about how he got the Navy Achievement Medal. Let me tell you something about the Navy Achievement Medal, because I got 2 of them.
Oh.
Here's how easy it is to get. All you have to do is spend 4 years in the Navy or the Marine Corps and not get in trouble for anything. That's it. It's what we call.
That's still hard. That's still hard.
No, it's not really that hard. Believe it or not.
It's hard for some people. Yeah.
It's 3 years in the Army for us to get it.
if you have a job and you work a job, like how many jobs have we worked at for 5 or 6 years where we've never been written up for anything, right? So it's not that difficult.
Oh.
Okay. I have 2 of them.
Oh.
Okay. So all I had to do was do exactly what I was told and perform, just like any other job in the world. Okay. So you can take those. They're what we call in the Navy. It's what we call a Gedunk medal, like the Kuwait Liberation Medal. Everybody got one.
Oh.
Right. Everybody got the Kuwait Liberation Medal. And some of the people, like I got my Kuwait Liberation Medal. I was still in boot camp. I hadn't even been to Kuwait yet.
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So you get what we call these Gedunk medals, and it's because of the theater or the campaign that we were in at the time or what have you. Some ships in the Navy, we get what's called a Battle E Award, which is a battle recognition for how well we performed during battle exercises, right? So when he's sitting there bragging about he got the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, yeah, those of us who know better know that's a Gedunk medal. The other one is sitting there talking about how he served his country, he did tours of duty, yet he also took a flash drive, an unauthorized flash drive, into the FBI.
This part.
And unauthorized downloading of federal documents to this unauthorized flash drive.
Treason!
And Jim Jordan goes, now they question your patriotism. They question your patriotism. You know what? I would question it too. Why would you bring an unauthorized piece of equipment into this facility and then turn around and download unauthorized documents that you're not supposed to take outside of this facility? What were you going to do with them?
Give them to Russia.
And you know what the beautiful thing is about this, Zeus? Everybody on the right, some of these fake hosts that we speak of on a regular basis, these fake TikTok hosts, and I'm not going to use any names, but one of them I will say his name rhymes with Struggles.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Struggles.
Because he struggles with the truth on a regular basis.
I've been trying to just let him live.
He'll be the first one to say, oh, well, here's how three people out of this entire agency say that the FBI is corrupt. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's hand-picked director of the FBI is still sitting there.
Christopher Ray.
But all of a sudden, it's corrupt.
Yeah, Christopher
Okay.
Ray is still there.
He sure is. So these three quote-unquote whistleblowers who have done nefarious things as far as the FBI is concerned, broken policy, tried to download information that they weren't allowed to have.
What a crying shame.
You know, these are the witnesses that they're trying to rely on to prove some kind of FBI corruption. And I don't know if anybody heard Stacey's opening statement. I can't remember her last name. I think it's like Stacey Pelham or something like that. Her opening statement was spot on. And she basically said, this is nothing more than a continuation of Donald Trump trying to weaponize this committee to do his bidding. And Jim Mad Jordan is going right along with it.
Nasty.
So Republicans, I'm at a point right now, with the exception of a few, and I don't know if Poker Dad is in here listening. He's one of the few, and I will excuse several others, okay? But the rest of you who are still supporting this man and supporting this current GOP, you make me sick to my stomach. It's always a lie when they start coming after the red and the conservatives and this, that, and the other thing. Then it's a witch hunt. But boy, I guarantee you, I promise you, if it was a Democratic-led committee, a Democrat committee, trying to say, here's what Joe Biden did.
Oh, Lord.
The right-wingers would be all over it. Hey, we got 3 FBI whistleblowers that's going to tell you why it was bad when President Obama wore a tan suit. Oh, they would be all over it, like hair on a gorilla.
Oh, Lord.
And they wouldn't let it go.
And Swervin, I want to play on that, man. I want to bring that home even further. I want you guys on the right in here to notice how we're handling this possible impeachment of Joe Biden. Do you notice that Joe Biden is not screaming, the fake news and witch hunt?
Nope.
Do you notice he's not even addressing it?
Nope.
Do you notice
that's
that
weird.
we're not addressing it except to say, okay, if he did something wrong, impeach
Get him out
him.
of here.
Lock his ass up.
Notice the difference between the right and the left when the political kangaroo courts are involved.
You hear that?
And you sit there and say, let it out. Let's see what you got, because you keep saying it's a crime family. You keep saying there's evidence. Well, freaking show it, because we still haven't seen election fraud evidence yet. So keep showing this stuff. Like, I want to see what you supposedly know all about.
Exactly.
Someone asked me, how do you feel about Joe Biden's impeachment? I'm like, what? When is that happening? Like,
It's never ending.
I just trust the process. Exactly. So we trust the process. Okay, let's see what you got. Because I guarantee you the Democrats will line up and say, get him out.
Get him out.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you like this.
It's
I'm
that
gonna tell you
simple
like
for
this.
us.
Yeah.
Show us proof.
I'm gonna tell you like this to all you ladies out here. You keep chasing Jesus, and your man to keep chasing you.
Stop it.
Thank you for that bit of knowledge, Lauren Boebert.
I guess you didn't chase Jesus hard enough.
Oh, y'all. What got you coffee this morning? Oh, Lord. Oh, Petty Auntie.
What's up for you?
Oh, yes. Listen, the truth is in this live today.
Lauren, maybe you should have stayed in school, sweetheart. Education matters. Just saying.
Yes. Petty Auntie, you have something to say. Go for it.
I wanted to clear something up in the comments, and then I wanted to address this division we have going on in our country.
Uh-oh.
In the comments, somebody said the military has non-judicial punishment, civilians have judicial. No, we have non-judicial punishment in the military and judicial punishment. That is what is a court-martial when you're talking about the full-on court-martial.
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
judged by a jury of your peers. So we do have judicial punishment. We have prisons, military prisons. Now, with that cleared up,
They act like they never saw a few good men.
Yeah. I want to put some parallels out there for everybody.
Okay.
These, you know how lawyers and judges, even though they may be representing people on two different sides of the case and the judge is supposed to be neutral, how they'll go hang out, have drinks, and, you know, family functions, all that together. It's no different than with our politicians. They're creating this division on social media between left and the right. American people are arguing, they're fighting, when we should be paying attention to the larger scheme of things. With that said, you need to look at how they're voting. What they're saying on Twitter does not necessarily match up with how they're voting on these different legislative packages that are coming through. These people also hang out. And I was just at the Capitol last week. I was at the Capitol in my state and saw this with my own eyes.
With
And I
the
had
Patriot Front?
no,
Oh.
No,
absolutely. No, I
in
was
her
not.
state. In
Oh,
Yeah,
her
in
state.
my
okay.
state. In my
Okay,
state,
I'm
I was
sorry.
up there discussing public school options and meeting with legislators. But they're in the hallway, Democrat, Republican, laughing, joking, talking about last night. Like I'm telling y'all, they
Yep.
created a division amongst us, and they're not reflecting that in action in their votes or how they interact with each other on a daily basis. So I say all that to say this. We have to focus on the larger picture. Call out whoever's doing wrong, no matter what party they align themselves with. Call them out if they're corrupt.
Yep.
Hold them accountable. But
Yeah.
we have to stop this, oh, all the Republicans, oh, all the Democrats, because it's happening on both sides. And divided we fall, united we stand, y'all.
Can I ask this
Yeah.
question though?
Sure.
Because you're in the middle, I suppose.
Hey, Zeus.
Yes.
Zeus, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, man. And but Mama Jenny's physical therapist is pulling
right.
up, and I don't want to be
All
rude
right.
and
We'll
say
see you
goodbye.
later, Swervin.
I don't want to just drop
Bye,
down
Swervin.
without saying goodbye.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me up in the kingdom, my friend. Hey, good morning, Rob. How you doing? I don't want to drop down without
All right,
Uh-oh.
Swerve.
I
Have a
think we
good
thanking
lost
you for
you.
allowing me up into the kingdom again.
Okay.
You all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm gonna keep holding it down in the fortress of solid truth, because it is
Hey,
held together
ladies
with
and
beams
gentlemen.
made of truth, iron rods, and nuts and bolts
All right.
that are
Betty was talking.
forged
Go
in
on.
truth.
Bye.
Good night. I'll see you later, everybody. Have a
Longest
great one.
salutation ever. Love you, man. Bye. Sorry, Petty. Go ahead.
Thank you, brother Swerving. All right, that's one hell of an exit, right?
It's always, he's always giving
Oh
me a
yeah.
big exit.
I mean, well, we're reaching that point in the live. You know, only thing I was going to say about the division was I would argue 90% of it is coming from the right, based on my account.
I agree that is who is dominating the news cycle now. But historically, that stuff go back and forth. Just like you had people in the comments talking about Democrats is the one who had your ancestors picking. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Had your ancestors picking cotton. That kept coming up in the comments. It goes back and forth. You had the Dixiecrats, but now those same values that the Dixiecrats had, which were the Democrats, that, you know, were part of the KKK back then, that is also part of the Republican Party now. It
Yep.
flips all the time. Y'all want to tout the Republican Party as not being the party of enslavement. That's not the whole truth. And we know that's not the whole truth.
Amen.
And I'll say this: there's two matters in this kingdom right now, Petty Auntie, that are of high importance. That is I would argue, the main reason this kingdom we're in right now is divided. You know what it is?
What's that?
Shay, Alex, two things. One, was the 2020 election stolen by President Joseph Biden?
No, it was not.
Nope.
Emphatically no.
It wasn't.
Exactly. And
But-
this is why it's hard to deal with these people because
You see, you're gonna see these
Our fellow
comments that say
Americans.
yeah.
yeah.
They're gonna say yes. Then the next question. Who was responsible for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, that dark day? You got folks in jail right now. Who's the ringleader?
The ringleader is Trump.
Yep. 100%.
You see in the comments, Nancy Pelosi.
Look at that.
Right,
I
yeah.
know.
This is we can't even go back as far as, you know, what you were saying in terms. This right here, this happened recently, and these folks don't want to tell the truth. The division in this country, unfortunately, Listen, okay, I get it. You think it's Nancy Pelosi. The division in this country is because of misinformation, unfortunately.
You
You
guys say Nancy Pelosi. Have you ever asked yourself why she would want January 6th when she won the election? Make it make sense.
They say January, she caused it, and then she sat on the committee to investigate her own crime. She
Yeah.
coordinated it with Ray Epps too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ray Epps. How did that work out for you guys? The boogeyman.
Ray
The
Epps is the
boogeyman turned out to
FBI.
be an ex, Proud Boy or whatever, Oath Keeper. Yeah, he wasn't part of the FBI. This poor guy is in hiding because of the right.
Oh no,
Because of
he's in
Tucker
hiding
Carlson
because
and the
he's
right.
the FBI.
Yeah.
So I only bring those up because this to me they're non-racial, right? It's information that we can actually say, are you telling the truth or not? I don't care what side. You could be a Republican, but we ask you who was responsible for the attack on the Capitol, and you go, Ray Epps, Nancy Pelosi.
The FBI, BLM, Antifa. I'm like, right. So Trump's going to pardon a bunch of Antifa and BLMers then when he gets back in office. If he does, he won't. But you know what I'm saying?
There
He
you
says he's
go.
going to pardon them all.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to me.
Let me
Think,
draw another
people.
parallel.
All we ask you to do
Uh-oh.
is think. That's it. Not for January 6th, Dane.
Yeah, Patty Auntie, you were saying something.
Do
Before we get
Democrats
out of
do
here.
things wrong at times? 100%, man. Nobody's
Oh
perfect.
gosh. What a lie. I tell you, this is a little off script, but we had this conversation. Petty Auntie, you were saying something?
Yeah, I'm gonna draw another parallel for you all, and then I'm gonna leave you with a thought, and then I'm gonna bounce.
Oh, okay.
The parallel I'm gonna draw in the headlines this morning was that Hong Kong is defending, their leader of Hong Kong is defending their book banning that they're doing. I covered this morning in my show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Hong Kong, right? We're talking about the CCP. Now, let me give some context. Hong Kong has not always been under the control of the CCP. The Hong Kong used to be a colony of Great Britain, so they used to belong to the British Commonwealth until 1997 when they gave it back to China.
Right.
Since then, the CCP has been stripping those freedoms and pro-democracy policies they had over that time, right? But the parallel is we're so against China. We're so upset with what China's doing. They're a communist country, blah, 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 right? But we're doing the exact same thing, banning books that go against the official ideology of their officials, right? So that's the parallel I wanted to draw. And then I'm going to end with this. We are headed to destruction
Oh.
as a country.
Oh.
America is going to implode from within, and it's because the American people keep feeding into this division of the left or the right. And this is not, I can't speak for Alex, I can't speak for Swervin or no other veteran, but I know this is not what I dedicated and sacrificed for the majority of my adult life for 21 years. To see everything that I've gone through in the military basically just be destroyed before my very eyes. We are slipping so rapidly into fascism, and people do not want to acknowledge it because they're they were just protecting the kids. No, they're not. No, they are not. That is what they're using. So I challenge everyone to do two things. I want you to look up 1933 Germany, when the mustache man came into power, and how his first agenda was to reform the education system in Germany to align with the mustache man's parties. I don't want to get the Lives app view.
You're doing excellent.
With the views, right? I want y'all looking at that. And then I want you, more homework, to Google the 10 stages of genocide. And I'm not even going to give you my opinion because I want everyone to form their opinion themselves when they read the 10 stages of genocide. And you tell yourself, I want you to come to a decision on where you think America is in those stages.
Yep.
Reach.
Patty is exactly right. I have talked about the rise of power of the Schmazi Party and the Mustache Man and how comparable that is to what this country is going through right now. And it is scary. It's really, really scary. And you guys need to wake up. Stop being so angry at each other. We're all Americans. You know, we all bleed the same. We all want the same. We all want shelter, our kids to be safe. We want
That's
to
right.
make money to take a vacation here and
That's
there.
right.
We just want to live our lives and have our children grow up if we have children. But we just have different priorities. That's all. But if you
Amen.
just really could look at the heart of each individual and get to know people, you wouldn't think that we're the enemy. I don't consider you the enemy because you voted for Donald Trump. I just know that
Tell
you're
them, Miss
making
Phil.
your political decision. I just ask you to do more research. I
Amen.
ask you to look at what we're saying. I ask you to know the definition between communism and fascism so that you understand this. I ask you to understand what is going on. They're keeping you angry for a reason. Look back at the Republican Party specifically and see what they've been trying. They jump from one set of anger to the next. It's a new focus. That's what Schmittler did. He was the exact same. You find something to blame the problems on, focus the anger in that direction. Meanwhile, you're not watching what Schmittler was doing. So this is history, guys. This is history. And history, what does history do? It repeats itself. And that's why we have to learn the history.
Amen.
So,
Amen. Amen. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived where Zeus needs to tend to his affairs in the kingdom. Any last remarks, ladies and gentlemen, before we depart?
I just want to say this to Petty. So we align so much in a lot of our ideals. I'm not sure if it's a military thing or just maybe we do. So I'm kind of like you. I don't think you've ever noticed about me, Zeus, but I am kind of very independent when it comes to voting. I can vote for either sides depending on what I feel like is best for the country. And I kind of got that mindset in serving. So again, me and Petty have a lot of the same views. I'm not sure if it's military related, but again, we just have to do a better job in figuring out what's best for our country. And unfortunately, right now, the issue is that the Republicans are the loudest in the room, and that's why we criticize them a lot, because they're the loudest in the room and the biggest hypocrites, openly hypocrites. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're
I
open
can't
about it.
disagree with it. All right, thank you, brother Alex. Shay.
Thanks for having me, Petty. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. You're awesome. I'm in the middle as well. I mean, I lean left, obviously, but I'm a moderate. And this because I used to be a conservative, so I hold on to some of those traditional values. But I definitely see what's happened to my old party, and I don't like it. As a historian, I see it. I find it dangerous, and I just wish that the electorate could get more educated. I really do. I wish they would stop camping in their little camps and because I know it feels good, but to reach out and have real hard discussions with people and try to see the other side and just have real discussions. I was saying, you just want to hurt kids, or you just are this, or you're just that. So I don't know. That's all. Thank you, Zeus. Love you, brother.
No problem. All right. And Petty Auntie, nice to see you. Any last words?
I gave my last thoughts. I just want to say thank you again for allowing me up to speak in your box. The respectful space. I love your format. Again, I'll be back. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. And I appreciate you, and I will be tuning into your lives in the morning as well again. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Enjoy the music. Take care.
Who's always the most handsome in the kingdom?
And I really am.
Sound I make me.
Thank you.
When I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Don't be playing with my money when I'm grooving like Zeus.
We did it.
Thinking that you're cool till I pull up like
And I
Zeus.
love your kids.
Thunder in the sky
Feel
like you
that
like
rise.
Zeus. I make my own
Prove
rules.
it.
I'm a god, call me
You
Zeus.
can
I'm
it.
fire than an eagle. I got red on me too. Took a long time to
Fight
get here,
it.
and I'm feeling brand new. If you
Hey,
looking like a
bro,
bum,
move
get away from me. Fool, I got money in my mouth. I can't hang around with you. You fall in love too quick. You a high risk. Mix all in the mix. I put a bounty on your head. This is way above the feds.
Yes.
When you playing with the
I am
gods and you playing with
Gordo.
the dead.
Heaven.
Loose with the
Cut it
truth.
out.
Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me
What?
play with your caboose.
Angela.
I know the ladies love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth.
Dixie.
Player hating on the gods, boy, you such a douche.
Thank
goose.
you.
These ladies love me, yeah, I'm the one that they choose. You know I'm so handsome, that's why they call me Zeus. This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus.
Reggie.
This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Don't be playing with my move when I'm moving like Zeus.
Andy, yeah.
Till I pull up like Zeus. Thunder in the sky like you up like
Andy,
Zeus. I make
nice
my
to
own
see
rules.
ya.
I'm a god, call me Zeus. I'm higher than Hades. And I'm
Raina.
running down the roof. You say you wanted facts, well,
Hey.
I'm proof. I've been waiting for this
Got
moment. I gotta choose. If you play around with love, then you guaranteed to lose. I didn't make the game of rules, so don't play me like a fool. If you
Thank
can't
you.
swim,
Yes.
don't be in the
Oh, I
pool.
see
Even
you.
though I'm hot, people telling me
Justice,
be
cut
cool.
it
I'm
out.
just sitting on my throne while you looking like a goof. Time to let loose with the truth. Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose. I know the ladies love me cause I'm
Look
sweet
at
like a tooth. Play hating on the guys, please such a douche. Try to be patient, but you had to like a
They don't
goose.
like me.
Catching all these snakes like a mongoose. These ladies love me, yeah, I'm the one that they choose. You know I'm so handsome, that's why they call me Zeus. This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Don't be playing with my move when I'm moving like Zeus. Thinking that you're cool till I pull up like Zeus. Thunder in the sky like you up like Zeus. I make my own rules, I'm a god, call me Zeus.
Yeah, you know about me.
You know about me, Maisha. Nice to see ya.
I'm the god of the skies, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I'm bringing down the roof with this heat.
Go
Now I'm on the beat,
on.
hitting hard like Bruce. Lawrence Reed on the beat, you better call it truth, ladies and gentlemen. I can dance the box in the jungle like a kangaroo.
Don't get caught slipping in the woods and you'll be dead like a moose. Lindsay on the beat like Zeus. Let's go.
Angelo on the beat like Zeus. RMC on the beat. Yeah, you heard about me.
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, ladies.
I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Yes.
It's Zeus.
Thank you, Angela.
God,
I am Triple H.
my child ladies.
I am the most honest.
Will wake your penny.
I am the most humble.
If you spend up too close.
And I am
I'll put your
definitely
phone in the bed.
the most handsome. To the Laker fans in here who continue to bring the Lakers into this live, I wanted to say treason in the kingdom will not be tolerated.
Fatality.
Now you have yourself a blessed day, all right? And I may or may not do the closet of truth. Cut it out, divide it no more. I'm out of here. Shame on all of you for doing